Hi everyone, welcome to a new video. Thanks for joining me today. So today I have another real-time video for you of this raven that I recently drew. And today I'm going to be showing the making of the tail area from start to finish. So you'll be able to watch that in color pencil. So I'm working on Canson 1557 paper and I'm using Faber-Castell Polychromos colored pencils and a white Caran d'Ache luminance. And just before we start with the tutorial, I wanted to give you a little heads up because I'm actually moving away from Patreon over to my new membership website. So I've created a membership area on my own website. It will launch on Sunday, the 23rd of January, so it's in 3 days already. And the membership site will contain every single Patreon tutorial that I've made in the past 4 years. And then starting from February, I will upload all new tutorials over there on the new website, which means that there will be no more new tutorials to Patreon. So if you want to learn more about it, have a look at my website. There's a link in the description. And I hope you all will join me in the new membership because it's a huge improvement. All tutorials are way easier to find, which saves you a lot of time. And of course, we have a nice community area as well, where you can share your work and you can also get guidance from me. So if you're interested, go have a look at my website in the link below, and then let's get started with this tutorial. So for the tail, going to start the same, go in with black and map out all the feathers and the very darkest areas. Make sure it's nice and sharp. Let's start with this underside area. So here we have the tail that is disappearing just a little bit behind a piece of rock that we're not going to include. So I'm just making up my own end to this tail. Just do it like this. So here we have a super dark area, super dark line. Make sure that the tips are nice and sharp. And actually the top line is also quite dark. I'm not going to outline it as dark as the bottom lines, but let's do a nice sharp black outline around it. And here we have another super dark part. Alright, and then outline the individual feathers a little bit more as well. So here we have a large feather. So you can't see the details in this area that well. I'm just generally sketching out what I see. Here we have some of the feathers from the belly area still. Alright, so let's continue with the black. And first fill in all the darks again. So I'm just going to make everything that looks super dark, make that nice and black right away. This area of the body is the darkest. So I'm going all in right away. This is all super dark here at the bottom. I don't need to fill everything in completely solid black. I can also do a lighter layer of black, but I'm just looking at the values. Where is it dark? Real dark? Where are the darks a little bit lighter than just solid black? And that's where I just lighten up the pressure. So here in the center we have a lighter part again, so I'm not going to add any black there. Going around that. Okay, I think it's time for some color and we can go in quite dark right away. So I think I'm going to get dark indigo and start with that right away. I can go over the black to give it more depth. And I don't really need to spare out any super light highlights here. This is all going to be just dark. Whoops. All right. Getting into this bottom part. And the center part that can have some lighter layers. So I'm not going to be pushing as much. Let's leave this a little lighter and then we can put violet on top of it to give it more color. So the center area is going to have the shine factor of the tail area. Alright, so let's get violet right away and add that here. Nice violet shine. Maybe add a little bit of that as well on the top line of the tail. Then the rest, I think the rest is going to need a Cabot Morton violet. Okay, so let's switch to Cabot Morton Violet 263. Add this along the bottom area mainly. You can still see the paper texture through here and there. That's no problem. We will probably need more black there as well later. Let's add this in the tips of the tail as well. maybe a little bit of indanthrene blue. Just add a bit more blue in on the top line. So this is all going to be even darker in the end, but we do want a little bit of color in there. We are getting there. So this little part is quicker than the rest just because it's less colorful and we can start out darker right away. I don't need much burnishing either, I think. I do think I'm going to burnish the top area. Just adding some more dark indigo to make sure that there's enough layers on there before we do the burnishing. Okay, so let's take the luminance and I'm just going to burnish here along the top of the feathers, along the top line, here and there on the edges of the feathers. You can see that it lightens up a little. And then this center part, which just has violet on it and a little bit of dark indigo. You can see that it lightens up when you put the carandash on top of it, so it looks kind of nice. Alright, so we're almost there, but you can still see the paper texture here and there. And I do want to do a little bit more glazing of violets before we go in and darken up again with black. Go in with violet on top. So you can just go on top of the burnished area, there's no problem. And also on the center part again. adding some more paint gray in the areas that I don't want black, but where I still see too much of the paper texture. So I'm using this to thicken the layers here and there. Alright, so finally, a little bit more burnishing where I still see too much of the paper. And then I'm going to go back in with black and just darken up even more and separate all these feathers, making sure that the tips are super nice and sharp. And then the body is about finished. So here we have this nice separated area. In this area at the bottom, it's not completely black yet. So I can even darken up here and create some of the little feather textures in there, although you can't really see them. Alright, it's looking nice. Everything is starting to come together now. So now it's really looking like a nice bird. Here and there I'm going to fill in some gaps where the feathers still look a little bit too light. Just using dark indigo for that. Alright, so I'm going to zoom out and see what this looks like from a distance. Alright, so that concludes this tutorial. This is what the drawing turned out like. I hope you liked it. It was a rather small drawing, but really fun to make, and especially because there are so many different colors going into black feathers. So I hope you liked it. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. Don't forget to check out my website and keep an eye on the launch of the new membership area as well. And then I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.